He is one of the most infamous serial killers in modern history. Jeffrey Dahmer, necrophiliac and cannibal, murdered 17 men and boys over the course of 13 years. But what was going on in the mind of this monster? Are killers born evil, or do they become evil over time?
My name is Dr. Eirik Hickey. I'm a criminal psychologist by trade, and my areas of expertise are homicide, sex crime, and psychopathology. I work on the dark side, pretty much.
Dr. Hickey has an unusual connection to the Dahmer case that no other criminal psychologist has.
I became involved with the Dahmer case many years ago. I happened to be in a store. I saw a man who looked unusual. So I just walked over to him and started talking to him. And he said he was from Chicago. I said, "What brings you to California?" And he said, "My mom tried to kill herself. And I came out to help her." I said, "I know who you are. You're Jeffrey Dahmer's brother, aren't you?" So we became friends. I met his mother and interviewed her. And oh my gosh, that just led to so many other things. Because of that moment in the store, it led to a whole nother avenue of investigation.
Let's start from the beginning. Jeffrey Lionel Dahmer was born on May 21st, 1960, to Lionel Dahmer and Joyce Annette Rocky Dahmer. As a child, Dahmer was often isolated. Both of his parents struggled with depression and fought constantly throughout their marriage.
So Jeffrey had a difficult childhood. There was problems in the home between the husband and wife. There wasn't a close-knit family. He didn't have the attachment that most people have growing up, and he felt alone. Of course, one day he comes home, I think when he was 17, his mother was gone. She took David, the son, youngest son, and left. And that really was traumatizing for him.
The young Dahmer was painfully shy and withdrawn. He also displayed an interest in dead animals, dissecting carcasses and collecting chicken bones and bleaching them. He stated that this process excited him. This is not uncommon with any child that experiences trauma, and it's certainly a common trait among many serial killers.
When we talk about animal abuse, setting fires, these are results of childhood trauma, lack of attachment. Children can't express themselves. They can't tell you what's really bothering them, so they'll often set fires or hurt animals. That's their voice. This is a cry for help. The piece that we never talk about is the fantasies that fuel the fire.
Dahmer's trauma and fascination with dead animals began to interact with his blossoming sexuality. He became obsessed with having control and power. It was also around this time that he realized he was gay, which made him feel ashamed and confused.
He really was very conflicted as well. He was lonely, conflicted, had lack of attachment. All these things kind of set the groundwork for where he would go. It's a very interesting process because it wasn't one day he just woke up and said, "I'm going to be a killer." I mean, he built into that over the period of several years. As you recall, in this case, he had fantasies about killing a young man. Over time, fantasies become behavior.
Started having obsessive thoughts of violence intermingled with sex. And it just got worse and worse. I didn't know how to tell anyone about it, so I didn't. I just kept it all inside.
He had a desire to be with someone who had been buried. So in paraphilic terms, he had this sexual fantasy about being with someone who was unconscious.